With the second best view in the house is Mike Striegel. He's got the green flag in hand, and you're ready to go.
We are ready indeed. So is Christopher Watts. The Osceola, Missouri driver was the one getting the assist from the Hobby Time Motorsports safety crew. A spectacular field of Ozark Golf Cars USRA B mods ready for their 20-lap A feature. Christopher Jackson will bring them to the line. He and Andy Bryant will have the best seat in the house to get this one started, as they have got a wide open racetrack in front of them. And look at the power underneath the hood of the 28 as it's Andy Bryant, the kid from Fort Scott, Kansas, who flies around the racetrack, and he will lead them around for lap number 1. Andy Bryant tonight with Jackson behind him, the Crewster running in third, and then, as Shane mentioned, Terry Schultz in fourth. It was a bad start here for Ryan Gilmore, Shane. Gilmore always good here. Again, got off the schneid, got his first Diamond of Dirt Track wins here last season during the 2021 season. He started on the inside of row number 2, and he has since been shuffled back, and already our race leaders starting to get into lap traffic. Andy Bryant and Chris Jackson, Crew Walburn, all running at a little bit different speed than some of the fellas in the back of the pack.
Yeah, quite a bit different speed, as now Andy Bryant, he started to look ahead about a lap before they got to lap traffic to figure out what route he needed to go, and he knows the inside is the line as he gets to the inside of Jim Gish. Now Gish will get in the way of Chris Jackson, who is looking to follow the tire tracks of Andy Bryant. They will finally dispose of Gish, and that will allow Walburn to catch up with Chris Jackson. He's right on his back bumper.
Gish will exit stage right. The 25G's night is done. Andy Bryant now pulls alongside Dwight Brown and puts him a lap down as the 28 continues to fly around this 3/8 of a mile semi-banked oval. Chris Jackson. Wheatland's Quentin Taylor as Taylor pulls the 2 onto the infield here with 5 laps to go as he will take the early retirement. And Chris Jackson starting to reel in your race leader, Andy Bryant, still trying to bob and weave his way through rush hour traffic, comes up on the back bumper of the Hebrew Hammer here. Brayton Skaggs leaves the door open to the bottom of the racetrack, but there's just nowhere to go right now. Cars all around your race leader, Andy Bryant. And he's running out of room, pinned in between a couple of cars that time with Willis finally getting out of the way. Bryant pulls right up on the back of Wes Briggs. White flag lap one more time around for Andy Bryant. The Fort Scott Flyer gets to the outside as the pair of 28s go side by side down the back chute. That will allow Chris Jackson to catch up momentarily, and then Bryant dives in front of Briggs. It will be Andy Bryant making his 4th trip to victory lane here in the 2022 racing season, the first time here at the Diamond of Dirt Tracks, as Andy Bryant is able to hold off your winner from last Saturday night, Chris Jackson.
We started the night with 16, currently have 15. And Cole Henson, a heat race winner, last year's champ from 2020. He will start from the point and try to get 2022 started in the same fashion. He will drift high on the track, and bye-bye he goes from the top spot. Larry Ferris will grab P1. Joe Walkenhorst in the 90 will grab 2nd. And before you know it, Cole Henson's on the outside looking in 3rd.
Well, he had the only sub-16-second lap time a moment ago, but all of that advantage and all of that speed will go away as caution comes on the track for the 72 of J.C. Morton.
J.C. Morton, as we mentioned a couple of laps ago, whenever he entered turns 1 and 2, nose shot straight up the track. He had to lift just to keep it from plowing on up into the cushion, and now he will let the field pass, and he will have a lot of work to do as he has to go to the tailback after bringing out the Boone's Barbecue caution 5 laps in. That might save my fantasy racing for the night. He was my pick in that pool. Hammer down, step down on the loud pedal, and Larry Ferris will lead into turns number 1 and 2, and Cole Henson, after getting off to such a poor start, to lead off the race and let Joe Walkenhorst get around him. He will grab that position back, but now he will look out the front and only see the rear end of Larry Ferris as Ferris is starting to check out again.
On him, and Mike Striegel's going to have to bring out that Boone's Barbecue Barn caution flag once again.
On the infield, they now have her back underway, and the caution lights have gone dark again. Larry Ferris leads the conga line through turns 3 and 4. Green flag will come out. A green-white checkered finish. You'll see the green flag this time as Cole Henson goes topside. They'll get the white flag this time, and Henson gets pinched off on the backstretch, tries the crossover, goes to the inside of Todd McCoy. Ferris starting to check out. He will have a nice, sizable lead with one more time around. He leads Todd McCoy by a half a straightaway. Tucker Cox will come in. The battle now is for third as Tucker Cox, we didn't really talk much about him. He will try to make his way to the podium. Larry Ferris gets the win. Todd McCoy second, and Cole Henson able to hang on to third in a 2-lap shootout.
Last week, USRA national points as well. Matt Johnson and Dylan McCowan were the class of the field last week. What will happen tonight on the Spring Series opener presented by Ozarks Fox? Buttonbuck, Ryan Middaugh trying to take a bite out of McCowan on the opening lap here in Will as he shoots out in front down the back stretch as the 21 will try to control this 20-car field here on the opening lap, and he does. To carve up the field over the next 16 laps to be a 2-time winner here tonight, but trouble in the back of the pack. Lane Whitney gets collected alongside a spinning Andy Christenberry, and the Boone's Barbecue Barn caution is out. Ryan Middaugh will be your pace sitter as the field slowly follows in behind the 21. He will dive bomb down into turn number 4 and get us back to a green flag restart, and a good restart for Middaugh as he takes his chunk right out of the middle of 1 and 2. McCowan goes to the top of the racetrack and gets a good run, allows him to pull within a car length or so as they will work their way off of turn number 4. McCowan right up behind the 21, and look at him slide up to the top of the racetrack. Does he get any bite off the top of turn 2? He will pull up right behind the 21 and dive to the inside. McCowan slides up the racetrack. That'll open the door for Middaugh, but it'll be McCowan that holds on to the top spot 6 laps in. So Dylan McCowan now starts to work his way through lap traffic. He puts Lane Whitney in between he and Ryan Middaugh, and Middaugh's going to have his hands full here in a second because the 21 is about to be reeled in by the 22 as Hodges is hustling around this 3/8 of a mile semi-banked oval. He is trying to get himself close enough to do battle with Middaugh here, but they also, Shane, have to work through lap traffic. We saw that in our A-main earlier tonight. The lap traffic for those top 3 or 4 drivers didn't really seem to be much of a problem. It doesn't appear to be so far for Dylan McCowan. White flag lap one more time around for the teenager from Urbana, Missouri. Dylan doesn't have to pass another car, and right now he's got another lapped car in between he and Middaugh. McCowan will slow behind Kirk in turn number 4, fly down the front stretch, and he will make a second trip to victory lane in as many weekends as Dylan McCowan wins our A-main tonight for the Cedar Creek Beef Jerky USRA Modified.
Well, the race is in the good hands of Mike Striegel right now. Green flag in the right paw of the Wheatland Outlaw. Dean Willie, he won his heat race earlier on, went from the back of the pack to the front in no time. He'll start in the front with Doug Keller to his right side, and they will stay side by side as they're all bunched up, 3 and 4 wide in tow. McMillan to the outside. Last week's feature winner and Brian White to the inside, side by side, row after row after row for the stock cars.
It feels like we're still in parade formation as they stay stacked up 2 by 2 by 2. But it is Keller tricycling that 7 stock car off of turn number 2, getting over on Dean Willie for the time being. So he will try to lead him around for lap number 2. Keller getting a ton of push on the bottom of the racetrack, and that 7 just slides its way through 1 and 2.
So Doug Keller, front row all to his own. Dean Willie chose the outside. That shuffles James McMillan to the inside.
Fling it through the top of 1 and 2, see if he gets a run, and they got a chance to go side by side. No, but here comes Beck as Mason Beck continues to battle back, and Keller bounces in the middle of 3 and 4, and it'll be 3 across there on turn number 4, and McMillan by a nose is your new leader.
0.082 seconds, McMillan grabbed the lead. This one's far from being done, Corey. McMillan continues to fight on the high side. I think that's the place to be right now for the number 8. He has gotten more gains on the top side than anything else, and now a 2-car length advantage. That time, what was a nose is now a 2-car length edge.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He has found a line that works for the Gator Graphics 8, and Keller may have to chase him up there. Doug continues to drive through the middle of 3 and 4 with Beck catfishing around the bottom of the racetrack. Keller trikes it off of 4 and holds on here, but he has not been able to pull back up alongside James McMillan yet since he took over the lead 2 laps ago. So it's a 3-car breakaway with McMillan, Keller, and Beck, and then a wide gap back to Dean Willie, who sat on the pole for this feature. With McMillan continuing his domination around the top of the racetrack, and now trouble in turn number 3. Your winner from a week ago has lost a wheel. Brian White is in turn 3. His wheel is in the top of turn 4.
And now it's on the way to the infield. It's working its way down. Oh, don't do this. That's bad news. Don't try to stop it. Let it go till it stops on its own. So 3 laps remain, and Mike Striegel's ready to let it fly again. The entire field is jumped back up, and now Doug Keller tries to go to the high side this time. Try to take that line away from James McMillan. Does not work going into turns 1 and 2. He'll fall 2-car lengths behind the number 8. He'll go right back to where he was whenever they were running under green flag conditions before, with McMillan going topside and Keller in the middle with 2 to go.
That Allen Auto Sports machine of James McMillan hasn't really ventured up to the high rent district much tonight, but that's where he's trying to fend off the 7, the former NASCAR Truck Series racer Doug Keller. Keller will take the 7 back to the bottom of the racetrack. McMillan gets a good run off of 4, and they see the white flag.
He tucked right in behind him on the front stretch. Keller with a lot of momentum coming off of turn number 2. This is the tightest they've been in a long time. McMillan will squeeze him in. Keller stays right where he is, then drifts up high. Off of turn 4, McMillan with the run. Contact made as Keller slides across the infield sideways. He'll still come home in second after contact with McMillan, but the number 8 comes home number 1. Mason Beck in third, Dean Willie fourth.